Today is Monday, so you know what that means. It is another Motivational Monday video. It is a series that I have begun kind of with the intention of getting everyone out of the Monday blues, to give something for everyone to look forward to on Monday so that it is not such a dreary day, and it'll give you a little bit of motivation to get you through the week and to face some of the issues that a lot of us face during life in general. So today's video is on the topic of being content. A little backstory for why I chose this video has a lot to do with the fact that we just went on vacation. It was one of the only vacations that we have taken this year, where usually we take plenty of weekend trips, long weekends, things like that, and we really haven't had the money to do that this year, so this was a big deal for us. We stuck with our traditional beach trip, and we went camping to also save on the cost. And if you know, if you're familiar with camping in general, you know that you don't have to rough it, but you are doing without some of the more, I'm not going to say glamorous things, but you keep it simple. Let's just say. The point being is that because we have done that, we realize some of the things that we are lacking, and getting back to the simple things of life make you realize just how important it is to be content with what you have and not to constantly obsess over what you don't have. Not saying that you need to not have goals and not want more out of life and not want to reach your potential, but that while you're doing that, while you're in that season, you need to be content and grateful in order to live a happy life. So anyway, being discontent basically means not happy in the season of life, needing more to be happy. If you are discontent, you want more, but until you get that more, you're not happy. So you're not satisfied, you're not content with what you have at the moment while reaching for that goal. And I love the way that she put this. It is a heart issue, not an event issue. For instance, if this happens, I will be happy. So you're saying to yourself, if this happens, I will be happy. But when this does happen, you're not happy, because it's not event-based. It's a heart issue. It's somewhere in the inside that needs to be fixed. It needs to be something that you need to work on internally in order to be happy. And that is basically what I got from the first video. The second video was a phenomenal speech by Matthew McConaughey, and if you're familiar with him, you know that he is like a super motivational person. He is a super live life to the fullest kind of person. So this was a very interesting speech from him, and I got a lot of the content and a lot of the so basically he said in this speech that happy is an emotional response, but we raise it every time we attain it. It's conditional. Your happiness is conditional. You're frequently let down if you're dependent on happiness. A lot of people confuse these two topics, happiness versus joy. Joy is different. Joy is a choice. Joy is constant. No matter the outcome, it's always in process. Joy is different from happiness. So basically, what he's saying is, even if you don't have the expected result, you can still be joyful. You can find the good in that unexpected result. You can find something to be grateful for. If nothing else, you can be grateful for your failure because it taught you something. You can be grateful for the disappointment because it also taught you something. But happiness, if you're constantly saying, if this happens, I'm going to be happy, it's unattainable. It's result reliant. So unless you get the expected result, which not a lot of the time that happens, you're never going to be happy. But if you are joyful and grateful, then you still have that feeling. Does that make sense? Something that was very important. Success depends on gratitude. He made the statement basically referring to his success in the film industry. He said that, you know, he didn't base his happiness on whether or not his movie was successful or whether or not it was a box office hit or things like that. But he was joyful each time he made a movie because he was doing what he loved. He was grateful for the opportunity to do what he loved. Success depends on that, because if you're an ungrateful person, your attitude is going to reflect that, and you're not going to be successful. Appreciate what we sometimes take for granted. This was the big kicker for me this past week. But what vacation also gives you an opportunity to do is to relax and reflect. And most of the time you go with your family, and because you're not doing those mundane routines, you're able to spend quality time with your family, which is very, very important. And in doing so, I was able to realize the little things that I take for granted. Being with the kids and the little things that they do and say, the little things that they enjoy, the little quirks of their personality, things like that that you overlook in the daily stressors, you're able to see a lot clearer when you're on vacation or when you're taking a break. So that gave me a whole new outlook on the things that I take for granted. Spending time with my husband, which we don't always get to do because of the work schedules and things like that. The daily responsibilities, taking care of the kids. There's not a whole lot of quality time, and because we were on vacation, we were able to have that quality time. So that is something that a lot of people take for granted. So that's mainly the intention that I had coming on here with this video, was to remind you guys that life is short, first of all. We got some pretty tragic news while we were on the road, and it really did make me see that things can change in an instant. And if you don't take advantage of the time that you have with each other and take advantage of the time that you have here on earth, it can slip away from you so quickly and leaves a lot of regret, a lot of unsaid feelings, a lot of unsaid things, a lot of undone activities, a lot of goals that weren't attained, things like that. And things that we take for granted, we appreciate in the event of a tragedy. And that shouldn't be that way. We should appreciate those things all the time. We should not take people for granted. We should not take situations for granted. We should not take blessings for granted. And that happens. I'm guilty of it. Everybody's guilty of it. But things like that really remind you of just how quickly things can change, and just how blessed you really are when things are going good for you, and when you have your family, and when you have these blessings. So we all need to take that time to appreciate what we really have. You may not be the most successful person. You may not have the best job. You may not have all the wonderful financial blessings that other people have. You may not have the materialistic items. You may not have a big house. You may not drive a fancy car, but you can still be joyful and you can still be grateful. You may not have a fancy car, but you got a car. You may not have a fancy house, but you have a house. You have electricity. You have a place to house your children. You have a place to lay them down at night. Some people are not that lucky. And I think that's something we all forget. So in closing, he made a good point as well. To learn from failures by looking at them constructively. This is something that's very difficult. especially if you have the type of personality that I have. If you're type A, you're a perfectionist and you always want to be 100%. If you fail, sometimes it's hard to look at that constructively. You think, I suck, I failed, I'm never going to be able to do this, I should just give up, I should stop trying, things like that. But if you look at those failures constructively and you say, what can I learn from this? What does this teach me? Is there a reason this didn't work out? Is there something better ahead? Was I striving for a goal that I shouldn't have been striving for to start with? Was I reaching for something that was not good for me? I didn't do it right, or my heart wasn't in it, or I was trying to obtain it the wrong way, things like that. If you look at the failure in a constructive way and you learn from it and you use it as a learning opportunity, it may turn into a success next time. So those are just some really valid points that were made in these videos that I researched, and also things that I have learned just from my own experiences as far as learning how to be content, especially in the moment, in the season of life. So as always, I create these videos based on experiences that I've had that help me in order to help you. I take some of the bad things that have happened to me, some of the good things that have happened to me, and sometimes some of the tragic things that have happened to me. And I'm making an effort to turn those into positive experiences or positive learning experiences so that I can help someone else. And if it helps just one person have a better day, or gives them a new perspective or a new outlook that they're so desperately in need of, then I have done what I intended to do. If I brighten your day just a little bit, or I make you smile, make you laugh, able to do any of that, then I have succeeded, and that will bring me joy. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss any of my future content. All of the information will be down below in the description bar. All my social media accounts will be there as well. If you choose to follow me on any of those, I will greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm sending love your way. Thank you so much.